What's up, and welcome to the Invincible podcast, probably the best superhero podcast in the universe. This is a show where friends get to talk all things Invincible, a comic book and animated series created by Robert Kirkman, Corey Walker, and Ryan Ottley. We have so much on this episode that we're going to be talking about. Our full breakdown of episode 5 of season 4. Before we get into that, as well as our doodles and our predictions for next episode, we also have some listener reactions from episode 4 that we're going to get into. So we're going to be reading some of your emails, getting into all of that stuff before we jump into our pre-recorded breakdown when we had only seen episode 5 before moving on to the future. But before we get to all of that, of course, I'm one of your hosts, Wyatt, and joining me today is Bill.
Hi, everybody.
TJ.
Hello, it's TJ.
And Ryan.
Hello, everybody.
We're here. We're now on the other side of the halfway point of season 4, about to talk about episode 5. Really excited to talk about this episode. Obviously, it is a huge episode, but also excited to hear from everybody else about how they felt going to hell. You know what I mean? I'd say one of the most talked about episodes of Invincible for many different reasons. So I'm excited to get into some of those emails. Before we get there, if you're a new listener, of course, welcome. We're so happy to have you. Be warned that we have, of course, read the comics, so we will occasionally get into spoilers, especially as we get into our predictions at the end of this episode when we're looking ahead. We will try to keep it relatively spoiler-free as we're reading emails, as we're starting to talk about the episode. But just be warned that we have read all the comics, and sometimes we'll be discussing some of those things. As far as a little bit of housekeeping, speaking of those listener emails that we're about to read, you can email us at theinvinciblepodcast@gmail.com. Of course, please follow us on YouTube, all the other socials, anywhere you can subscribe, give a thumbs up, do all those things that makes the algorithm so happy, is a big help for us. And of course, on you can also become a member, TJ.
If I may tack on to your social medias, we are now on Instagram and Facebook.
True.
We were on Facebook before, but now we're a little more interactive there. And we do have a brand new Instagram where we post clips and Invincible news and stuff. So check us out over there.
Yeah, great stuff over there. Little bite-sized pieces of content as well that you can find. But yeah, and of course, like I mentioned on YouTube, you can become a member. You get some badges, some emojis you can use in the chat. We have our full episode watch-alongs that are just the unedited us watching along at these episodes as we recorded them. So you get access to those. And ultimately, it's really just a way to support the show if you want to find a way to support all the things that we're doing to give you all of this crazy content. Because, of course, this is wrapping up. Really, if you're listening to this, it's April already, but we are recording this on the last day of March, the Invincible March, our 10-year anniversary of the podcast, where we have just been putting out more episodes and pieces of content than I think we ever have in a 1-month span. Ryan made a great post about how we posted 15 different videos, and that's not even counting like the full watch along. It's not even counting the Machine Head remix that you got out of me this season. There's so much that we've been putting out there. Thank you guys out there for supporting us so much with everything we've been putting out.
And good job, guys. Congrats to us as well. Like that was a lot. That was a lot that month.
Yeah.
I mean, some of that we recorded in advance. A lot of it we didn't, but it was obviously really fun, but that was a lot of work. And, we all have full-time jobs and, like I said online, we're not done yet either. Like this is going right into April. We're still continuing with all the crazy stuff that we've already started.
Yeah, very, very cool. And speaking of, actually, are we skipping over the news and saving that and going right into emails, Ryan, or are we doing the news that's listed on here?
We are doing the news that's listed on there.
All right. I couldn't remember if we were saving that for the live stream one. We're all in these little bubbles.
Oh yeah. No, we can talk about it. It's not much.
Okay, yeah. Little bits of Invincible news, mostly Invincible Versus. We got Titan announced, and then we got Conquest announced as well as kind of the final 2 spots of our base roster. So we now have the full roster, as well as the announcement of Universa and Immortal coming as the first 2 DLC characters over the first year of the game. And it says we're getting both of those in summer of this year, which is really exciting to see who we'll get after that as kind of like the final 2 for the first year. And hopefully with the success of this game, with it doing so well when it comes out, we hope we get more and more DLC packs. Because I know no matter how many spots they put in the game, there's always going to be that one voice in the back of my head be like, oh, what about this character? What about that one? What about, we're going to get Tether Tyrant? When are we
I just want to thank you for saying Tether Tyrant.
you
That's
know,
all that I want.
That will be the one until we get Tether Tyrant. Then once we get Tether Tyrant, I'll probably be like, we've got enough.
Yeah.
Because if we've gotten that far, we already got Dinosaurus. We already got Oliver. We've got the ones that are a little higher on the list for me. But yeah, very cool to see the final roster totally filled out.
Loved seeing this new stage too.
Yeah.
Is that like the technicians or something? Or
that's what we're guessing.
Definitely gives those vibes, which is very I would say more technician than Flaxen.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like, I mean, especially with all like the TVs and stuff, like Angstrom's hideout where he first talked to all the other Invincibles, but I think that was a little more enclosed. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, those
got the
Angstrom's
orbs and
hideout
that would also,
technician.
that would make sense for it to be technician technology, right? If
Yeah.
it was kind of similar to Angstrom's. But yeah, either way, super excited for the open beta. They announced also there's going to be an exclusive Omni-Man skin if you play the beta, which is really cool. And they're kind of hiding it for now. I'm guessing it's going to be like his outfit in season 4, the no shoes. You know what I mean? I hope it's that. And yeah, I hope it is.
Other than the, forgot what they're calling it. Other than like the zero suit mark, other than his very first homemade costume, we're not seeing anything other than like colorways, like color, just color swaps. So I want to see proof of like, we're doing different types
and
of costumes, which means
somebody posted about this in the Invincible subreddit as well, that once Immortal is added, he might have the potential for the most costumes, like different costumes. Abraham Lincoln, Caveman, his original like Golden Age looking suit where it's all white with the light shield, like King Immortal. He's got so many different variants that would be fun to do as suits. I hope that's something that even if we don't have a ton at launch, that we get more and more like suits added as DLC or just patches later down the way.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all of our major Invincible news. Again, we want to jump right into your thoughts and your emails about episode 4 so that we can then jump into our full breakdown of episode 5. And of course, there are time codes on this if you're listening, I'm sure. So if you want to bounce around a little bit, feel free to do so. But I'm going to go ahead and read our first email that says, "Hello, Invincible Podcast. I started watching the show when season 1 dropped and proceeded to binge read the comics after it ended. I've recently started listening to your podcast after the trailer for season 4 dropped. I've now listened to all of your season 1 through 3 episode breakdowns. I drive a lot for work, so thanks for keeping me company. While initially I had some problems with the last episode, mostly myself being impatient and wanting to see the later events in the season happen sooner, I do think it's better than I was giving it credit. It gave us a lot of great character moments for both Darkblood and Mark. One of my favorite ones, and I'm not sure if you mentioned it on the last breakdown, was Mark talking to Darkblood about how he thinks his dad could be dead. It adds so much more to Mark's character the last few episodes. Not only has he been dealing with all the trauma from the destruction he believes he's inadvertently caused, but he's also grieving for his dad, someone who he probably thinks he shouldn't be grieving for. So no wonder he's been all over the place mentally the last 4 episodes, especially since we haven't seen him talk about this to anyone else yet. Anyways, thanks for the great work. Cheers, Corey." That's a good point. Corey. It's a great email, and that again is one of those little nuggets of in the conversations with Mark and Damien that show that we get a lot of insight into where Mark's at in that episode.
I think we did. Someone did mention that. Maybe
I
it was
did.
TJ or
I actually had a different take on it to where I thought it was just like, I think he's dead. I don't know.
He's very detached at this point.
I took it in a different way where I thought he was more detached than he was grieving. Just saying that he was like, he's out there, but he's a terrible person and it is what it is. But
I think and I think we said this when you brought that up. I think regardless of which way you take it, it's just another thing weighing on him,
Yeah. Yeah. I think most importantly from this email, we have to discover, so Corey said cheers and they also spelled favorite with a U. So
we've got a good UK.
Bill seems to be all UK.
As Damien said, there's detective in you, I can feel it.
All right, so I'll take the next email here. Hello, Invincible Pod friends. I am partway through your episode 4 series 4 recap. I wandered onto the comments and noticed that a fair few were negative reviews of the episode itself. I thought I'd take a chance to listen to the episode to one of my favorite, again, OUR. Wow. episodes of TV episodes, or episode 3 of The Last of Us. Not to take anyone away from Invincible, but there was a major split in opinion with that episode, just like the Herm episode. Some loved it, some really didn't care for it. The main argument was The Last of Us episode, quoted, or the episode title is Long, Long Time, was that it didn't move the story along. Taking my personal opinion out, that wasn't strictly true. It helped develop character and plot for future episodes, which really couldn't have otherwise been done. If you've not seen it, it's phenomenal, and I couldn't recommend it more. As a standalone piece of art, it's one of the greatest stories you could hope for, with just over an hour to do it. What episode is that?
That's the one with the couple.
Is that
I
with
forgot his
Bill?
name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's with Bill and Frank. That's the greatest fucking episode of that show.
It is the best episode of the show.
I don't
It's
remember
the
that
entire
getting
series.
I don't remember that getting a mixed reception either. Maybe I was just blissfully unaware of it. But yeah, I think it's fantastic.
It did, but not for the reasons that like you'd hope for. A lot of people were, super like, oh, it's like, the whole gay thing and all that stuff. But and a lot of people didn't like that it didn't have Joel in it a whole lot either.
Well, that's what they're
Yeah,
referring.
Yeah.
that's what they're
I
saying.
see.
Who was the who's the guy from Parks and Rec that was in it?
Nick Offerman.
Nick
Yeah.
Offerman won a
He's
fucking a Golden Globe or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah,
for
he
that?
won
Like,
he won an
just
Emmy.
for that
He
one
won an Emmy
episode,
for
an
it.
Emmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like crazy.
Insane.
Getting back
one
to
episode.
Invincible, Herm isn't the best episode in my opinion. Maybe if Damien Darkblood came out as gay and had a gay lover in it, maybe then it would have been.
Did he write
That's
that?
Bill
or are
adding
you adding
conjecture.
that?
Bill adding
Okay.
conjecture.
Yeah, I'm adding conjecture. Yeah, I'm just but it already serves as a plot advancement with the main story. Beyond that, I'm sure there's more we will learn it has impacted as the main story advances, considering the end credits. It looks pretty clear Hell on Earth will make an appearance. And lastly, it was metal as fuck, as you guys have said. Excellent design, clever writing, really laugh out loud funny. Personally, I don't understand the hate. It was an excellent watch. Bringing it full circle. Now you have seen the aftermath of comments, ratings, etc. Do you have any thoughts on why the negativity, and has it impacted your opinions of the episode at all? Apologies for the obscenely long email. I completely understand if it's not read out, but I will judge you personally, Ryan. I also judge Ryan personally all the time. Looking forward to episode 5 and finishing off your recap of 4. Keep at it, team. Always a pleasure. Love, Andy. I will go first. It did not change my opinion. If anything, it made me feel like I have to defend it more, because one thing that I said, and then I'll move along because we could spend hours on this topic, is that I was talking to, I forget who it was, but I was talking to our friend Matt, and I said, if you took episode 4 out and you just didn't include it at all, and then the season ended, and then they were like, hey, guess what? We have a surprise one-off episode that we wanted to give you guys as like a special Hell episode. Would people love it? If knowing that it had nothing to do with the story, and if it was just a standalone episode, would it have gotten that much hate? And I don't think it would have, because it was a fucking phenomenal Invincible story. It was a well-written, acted, choreographed, Robert Kirkman feeling story that people are just held up on where it sits in the season.
I just want to say, like, first of all, everyone's saying like, oh, it's getting such bad press and like people are hating it. They're not. It is the lowest rated Invincible episode, and that's like the big headline that I'm seeing everywhere, right? But it's still rated very high compared to like most other episodes of other series.
It's rated good, not phenomenal.
Yeah, so my take on this is like, I totally understand it being people's like least favorite of the season. Like maybe it's your least favorite, right? Everybody has a least favorite of anything, right? So that's fine. But we are so spoiled with how good this show is. Nobody ever expected this before episode 1 of season 1, right? That I think what it is, I think that's what it's come down to, is that we are so spoiled with how good the show has been, but we got to remember that like 20 incredible episodes doesn't make a good episode a bad episode. And it was a good episode. It really was. Like, again, like I totally understand the thoughts and everybody's welcome to their opinion, but like just it being filler, I'll call this out because I don't want to call anybody's opinion stupid. Because
except for the people that call it filler. Is that what you're about to say?
The filler is a dumb reason not to like it. You cannot like it, but filler is a dumb reason not to like it. If it's a good episode, it's a good episode. It doesn't matter if it's filler or not. Sorry.
Another thing that we talked about too, really quick, was that like I brought up the X-Files, like a phenomenal show. I love the X-Files, and the people that love that show loved it. And there was only like maybe 3 episodes that were like canonical storytelling. The first, and then
That's
maybe the
just how
last
shows
2.
used to be. And
Yeah,
that's
they were
that's where filler
fun
came
adventures.
from.
Yeah.
That's where filler episodes came from. And this
And-
obviously wasn't that type of filler. And and a lot of this is the internet. You know, it's mob mentality. It's the fact that like the internet these days, you have to be so extreme in one way or the other. You have to either love
Yeah.
this thing entirely, it is peak whatever, or it's just absolute trash and you have to like fight people. And like people were like seeking out the podcast to like hear about the discourse. And it's like, no, we don't. That's
Yeah.
no, like it's like we enjoyed it. That's it. We like there is no That's
yeah,
all.
and Bill mentioned the X-Files. I think we also have talked about like Batman the Animated Series. Every episode was kind of its own little thing that you can weave that in your mind as a connective thing. But like Invincible is a love letter to everything that's great about comics and superhero storytelling. And I want to be able to do things that are not just Mark versus the Viltrumites. I want to be able to do fun stories where we take these characters in different directions and do surprising things. And like, I love that we got to do that. So yeah, the internet reaction definitely didn't change how I felt about the episode. If nothing else, I felt bummed out for the people that couldn't find the things to enjoy in it that we clearly were able to find for ourselves. But again, everybody's entitled to their opinion, to their own expectations. And I think that if nothing else, any of the people that had those specific complaints will be quite excited about episode 5. And I think that's structured that way intentionally to like know that like, yeah, maybe we are taking a bit of a swerve here with this and stepping away from the plot line that you might be hungry for. That's because you're about to be fed, you know?
Yep.
There were some people, and again, I'll make this quick because we don't want to dwell on it too much, but there were some comments saying that like we weren't criticizing it because we feel like we can't because we are the Invincible podcast. And first of all, like there's a difference between being negative and being constructive. We did all like the episode, but if we didn't, we could be constructive about it, right? And we try to remain constructive and call out the things that like we didn't care for so much in this and maybe enjoyed the comic version of this and whatnot. We just didn't see that so much with episode 4. However, we're gonna like negativity is negativity, and that doesn't really have a place here. So if that's what you're looking for this podcast, may not be for you, and that's totally cool. But we do have the ability to be constructive.
Of course. Yep. And again, nobody's wrong for not liking it. And we saw a lot of comments, valid comments of people giving reasons for why they didn't like it. And that's great. You can have those. There's nothing wrong with that.
Definitely.
Like TJ said, everybody can have a least favorite. It's not a big deal. So, all right, moving on. We've got the next email. I'm honestly disappointed in the average Invincible viewer this season. This is Scott Duvall. Episode 4.
Who's that? Who's that, Bill? Who's Scott Duvall, Bill?
Do I know who Scott Duvall is?
Wow.
It's a trivia question. All right. Scott continues. Episode 4 is, in my opinion, the strongest episode so far. Yet the ratings tanked because some people seem to have a very basic mindset that if an episode isn't centered on Mark and Nolan, it is automatically, quote, bad. I want to understand where they're coming from, though. My guess is that the drop happened because of its placement after episode 2. So for casual viewers, 2 is the peak of the season. So when you go from such a high episode to a Titan episode to a Damien episode, they got a little bit of whiplash. If I were restructuring it, I would have saved the Nolan episode for episode 4 and moved Hell earlier in the season. It would have matched the emotional rhythm. But it's frustrating that we have to think about appeasing people who claim to be fans only to turn around and trash episode 4 because it dared to focus on something other than Mark or Omni-Man. Thoughts? Sincerely, Scott Duvall. Yeah, I think we talked about it enough and kind of covered all the bases. Again,
I think it is fascinating, the idea of like playing around with episode order. I think even after like the first 3 came out, I was wondering like, oh, would 2 actually have worked better as 3? Because then you go to space, you get like the cliffhangers. Like that's all kind of pie in the sky. Like who knows how that would actually cause reactions to be different. It's also one of those things too that like as much of a benefit the week to week thing is, where we get to talk about every episode and make predictions for the next one, it also lets the internet do what it's going to do, where like if there's one episode that's not the best thing ever, they're like, oh, season 4 is just like not where it's supposed to be, and yada yada yada. And don't even wait a week to see where not only next week is going to go, but the rest of the season is going to go before you start making like a judgment call on it.
And if you feel like just real quick, if you feel like, you know, you're upset with the fandom or anything like that, just go online. Cause I did this earlier today because I was curious. Just go on Reddit or wherever and just search like Invincible season 2 break. Cause when that happened and there was a break in the middle of the season, people were not happy. It's ending. I've lost all interest. I'm not going back. This is the worst thing they could do. Oh my God. Yeah, the internet's gonna internet, like you said. It's all
I do enjoy the passion from people. Like again, there's a lot of negativity. We don't love the negativity, but people love this show so much that they're this passionate about it. So like again, you can have your opinion, and that's totally fine. I don't think anybody's wrong or right or whatnot, but I like that people are so passionate.
Yeah, something I learned in this podcast, and you know, we talk about it a lot, is that we've learned that trying to convince somebody to not like something that they like is not really the right way to go about it. Like, I think it's better to allow somebody to like it, even if you don't, and not try to convince them not to. You know, if they like it, let them be joyous. Let them, even if they're living in like a false world, let them be happy. Let them live in the Matrix. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas, like, you know, if you loved something, I think that it's okay to explain why, and then just have it be the end of the conversation. Like, I liked it a lot. Here's all the reasons why. If you can kind of see that, great. If not, cool. But if you didn't like it, just be like, I didn't like it, move on. Like, there's no room in this world to try to create more dislike for something. I just don't see a purpose for it anymore.
I mean, we debate all the time, and I have no issues with the fact that Bill loves Super Troop or Starship Troopers as much as he does. He's wrong, of course, we know this, but let him live in the delusion.
I want to live in the sandbox and play with the cat turds. Okay,
thank you.
I'm having fun.
Thank you, Powerplex, for your email. By the way, that is who Scott Duvall is.
Okay.
I have
you really
the next
can't
one.
keep getting away with it, you know.
And this one is from our friend Cole Shug, and he says, "Hi guys,
That's not real.
I've been listening for about 3 years now. First time emailing you. Just want to say a big thank you for the positive energy you all bring." See,
there you go.
What a great segue.
There you go.
Your podcast really does make my day when you post. Hope you like my doodle of my favorite character.
Who is it? What is it?
Nice.
Oh,
hey,
nice.
That's really good.
Ooh, I like the colors. The shading.
Like
yeah,
nice.
Very
Look
well
at the
done.
shading in the
two reds.
Yes, but the black in the dress area or whatever.
Yeah.
It is not a dress.
The skirt.
A garb. What is it?
It is a skirt. Yeah. Thank you, Wyatt.
Oh, okay. It's skirt. Not much better.
I mean, we don't know if it attaches. It probably attaches under that belt section. It could be a dress.
Yeah.
Rose.
All right. I've got, I think, our last email before we jump into our full episode 5 breakdown. This one says, "Hey guys, great recap for the first 4 episodes as usual. I have to say, it took me a rewatch to switch my brain up into fun mode, like Wyatt said. While watching the episode the first time, I had my brain stuck in the comic book mode that Ryan talked about. How when he watches the show, he has the comic in his brain running side by side. Having read the comic, I suffer the same fate, so I wasn't in the mindset of, this is new, sit back and just enjoy it, because I had grown accustomed to looking forward to how they were going to adapt the books into the show. I found myself checking how much time was left in the episode, waiting for when Nolan and Alan were going to show up. That being said, I engaged fun mode at the end. The episode absolutely rocked. They call it filler, sure, but it's not Goku and Piccolo get their driver's license filler. That's right. I appreciate that reference. And you know what? That episode still fun. Okay,
that's a real episode. I thought it's a joke.
That's a real episode. Engage the fun mode, guys. Engage the fun mode. We're getting our driver's license. This has great character development with Mark expanding the universe lore. We don't talk about the Third Age. Showing Eve's struggles with pregnancy. We found William, and it's time for war. Looking forward to episode 5 and going into fun mode more often. Best wishes from Kevin Deneen. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, and I agree. It also, like, I think to Kevin's email here, I think a lot of what you get out of things is what you go in expecting. And if you know that you're going into Invincible and that sometimes Invincible is going to be a fun time that's metal as hell, like we talked about, and we're doing a little swerve into something fun, and you get, oh, that's what we're doing this week. I think you're going to have a little more fun time than expecting every single episode to be thrag or a farming, as the kids would say nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, it's not always going to be this most epic. Not everything can be conquest, guys. Like, it has to be some variety throughout it, and you just have to kind of go in knowing that you might not be getting the biggest, craziest things, but that makes it even more exciting when, surprise, the big crazy thing happens. You know,
when he talked about like watching it a second time and being more like relaxed and just taking in the fun, it reminds me of how I first watched James Gunn's Superman, where like the first time I watched it, I was so like, oh, it's his first DCU movie, and like, how is this going to play out? I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I like that. But the second time I watched it, like coming out of it, the first time I was like, it was fine. It was good. The second time I watched it, I was like, holy shit. Like, I loved this movie. And that's kind of like, it's difficult to do when you love Invincible so much, but I get it. Just take in the fun.
And actually, we do have one more email, I believe, on here. I think I was miscounting. Does somebody else want to take? We have one more at the very bottom.
Oh, okay. I'll take it.
Cool.
Hello, Invincible Pod Goats, Ryan, TJ, Bill, and Wyatt. My name is Thomas from the UK. Firstly, I want to say what an amazing change it is to listen to actual grateful Invincible fans. I've been a fan since season 2, and ever since I've heard constant whining about animation, characters, and writing. So this podcast is an amazing breath of fresh air. Personally, I loved episode 4, but apparently a lot of people didn't like it. Oh well. Last week, I heard you guys talk about how Oliver is like Miles Morales of the Invincible universe. So I thought I would commission this based on the Marvel team-up number 14. So here you go, guys. I hope you enjoy it. It was created by at STXRRSTRXX. So Strix on TikTok, and her art is amazing. I wish it was a real cover we could have gotten. Hope you are all well and can't wait for episode 5. Can't wait to see Tech Jacket, even if the rumors are true. Thank you guys greatly for this podcast. I think it's best to say that this is the greatest podcast in the Omniverse. Thanks, guys. Thomas State from the UK.
Oh, thanks for the kind words, Thomas.
There it is.
So
wow.
Yeah. So
cool.
Again, this is over on TikTok. It's at STXRRSTRXX.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Now I need a blank team up cover to go to this person and get the commission on the actual team up cover.
On the Marvel team up cover.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
That
is so cool.
Like how it just matches.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah. And I love that this little email section that we had has basically been like a little therapy session. We're decompressing from the past week of Invincible online discourse, which again, that's part of the internet. We've said this 100 times, but like we knew that Invincible, as it was getting bigger and bigger, would have things like this, where there's lots of discourse online from people who are fans and who love every bit of it, and people who are very casual and are just like expecting everything to be, crazy, crazy things happening all the time. So glad we could decompress with everybody.
The email section next week will be a little different.
Little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I think too? Like back in the day, we were just so happy to have anything Invincible that it could have been like my dog shit out a turd that looks like Mark, and I'm like, guys, look at this, it's so crazy. Can you believe it? Look how awesome it is. And now there's just so much that people can.
Dude, OG fans of the podcast will know that we did like a whole like episode or something about the fist. Remember, like there was the fist.
one piece of a piece of artwork from Ryan Ottley, and it's Ottley, like let's spend 2 hours talking about it,
theorizing what this could mean.
Yep. Now we're here. We're just our cup overfloweth. And speaking of that,
go ahead, Wyatt.
No, go ahead. If you,
I was just going to talk more about episode 4, and No,
No,
do it
no,
up.
we're good.
Yeah, do it up.
All right, it is finally time for us to jump into our full breakdown. We're going to now jump back in time to when we had just watched the episode, do our full breakdown, all of our doodles, all of that. So take it away, past Wyatt. All right, and here we are to talk about Season 4, Episode 5 of Invincible. This episode's title is Give Us a Moment from, I actually did look this one up. This is issue 71, where it shows up slightly different. This is Nolan talking to Debbie, and he says, "Can you both give us a moment?" So I think they're using that from there. At least that's what I could find of where the title for this one was from. This episode has a runtime of 49 minutes. It was written by Wyatt Layne and directed by, once again, Sol Choi, who directed the 201, so season 2, episode 1, 206, 303, 308, which was the season 3 finale that I did the recap, and then 401 that I did the recap for. So I am just the Sol Choi recapper, apparently, the luck of the draw, which I'm very happy about because these episodes have been incredible.
Are those all the Conquest episodes?
A lot of, 308.
Yeah,
401 was the sec with
him breaking out.
Does break out, in the post-credit scene. So lots of Sol Choi knows what he's doing, and I think they've made sure to give him some very important ones for sure. But we're gonna be breaking it down scene by scene, obviously, like we always do. But before we get to that, what is everybody's initial impressions? We have spent probably the longest gap of time between watching this episode before getting to do our breakdown compared to the last 4 episodes. We've had like a day or two between the other ones because we're trying to get ready for the episodes launching and make sure we're ahead of schedule. This one, we had a whole week to just stew on this episode, and it is why. Poor choice of words. It was an intense episode for us to sit on. So what is everybody's initial impressions of season 4, episode 5?
I'll go first. So this episode and this is tough because we always have to go back and look at the whole thing, but it may be in my top 5 at least. It was, and again, like I don't see, you could take this as a positive about the episode or a negative about the future, but there's no way they top this episode. And the reason why I say that, this season, the reason why I say that is because you got all the crazy action, you got gore, you got all that crazy shit that you expect to happen in like the upcoming Viltrumite War. Like again, like no spoilers, but whatever. There's going to be a lot of action from here on out.
Yeah.
The thing that made this episode so good is that you got all the other stuff too. The Debbie stuff is obviously my favorite part of this episode, despite getting all the craziness at the end. Sandra Oh, like we always called out how amazing she is, like especially like in the first 2 seasons. Holy shit. She was like incredible this entire episode. Like MVP of the episode was Sandra Oh. Not even Debbie, just Sandra Oh.
Yeah, for sure.
So it definitely has some of the best. I don't know if it was my favorite episode, but it definitely has like my favorite scene in it. And it, ironically enough, is that Debbie scene. Like, it is not the crazy action. The tech jacket stuff, fucking awesome. Yeah. Like, we'll get into that too. Like, I have thoughts, but man, like Sandra Oh's performance made me uncomfortable, like in my own skin, and I just didn't know how to be. I can't even imagine how emotional the booth had to have been. I cannot even imagine. I cannot wait to fucking see the raw footage of that, and they have to release it. They have to.
I think every time I thought about my notes for this, for my initial thoughts, it always starts with Sandra Oh. Like, that's it. That's probably what I said as soon as we finished the episode too. Like, this was her episode, which was insane to think because so much happens. Like you said, the tech jacket stuff, everything with Conquest. I think that's gonna. I thought it felt like 2 episodes. It felt like we got 2 episodes here. We got Earth and space kind of bookended here. I couldn't believe that they go to space and we're only halfway through the episode. But at that point, you know what's coming, or at least comic book readers know what's coming. And that was intense. This might be An episode in which I look forward to rewatching the first half for years, and I don't know if I'll ever rewatch the second half ever again.
Yeah.
Because that was too hard.
I echo what a lot of you guys are saying. This was one of the ones where after we watched it, it was immediately like, yeah, this is a top 5 at the very least episode of the entire show. And it's just because like there is no weak scene in this episode. Like we had, episode 2, we loved and we gushed about the Viltrumite stuff. And we also said like, oh, it feels like maybe the Ragnar scene went on a little longer than we would have liked, that maybe you could trim that down a bit. We have little critiques here and there of other episodes that are like, oh, this is the really exciting part. And this part's pretty good still. This one it's oops, all bangers. It's just every scene is a banger. There is not every time there's a new scene, we're like, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe that we're getting this now. And like, yeah, to Ryan's point, it's not the ending of this episode is not fun to watch. And it's intentional. Like,
oh yeah,
they clearly wanted to top themselves from previous seasons. And there's a part of me that wished they didn't, because it was very hard to watch. And I think I might have been okay with it not being quite as intense and graphic as it was. But like, this show is about escalation. And it is about Mark facing these impossible odds and making it through it. And like, man, they sold that with the ending of this episode for sure. And yeah, I can't wait to get into it scene by scene, because like I said, every single one of them we are probably going to gush about. I'm nervous about how long this breakdown's going to take.
I don't envy your note taking.
It's a lot of notes. It's a lot of notes. But
I'm sorry. I can't wait when the fucking door opens up and you just see her silhouette and you hear the music. Oh my!
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Shit is good.
Okay, the episode opens outside of the Grayson household, where we see Alan showing some pictures of his cat to Eve, and it's very cute. And yeah, exactly. Ryan's got the little plushie right there.
Turn it around. Turn it around.
No, this is the PG version.
There's no butthole on that.
No, it would have been
We'll
worse
get
if there was
demonetized.
one.
We could get demonetized on YouTube. We can't show it.
Okay. Can't show that.
Yeah. Ryan Even and Alan are talking about, whether or not Nolan's really changed. They're talking about the war coming up, and Alan says like, yeah, I am, trying to get Mark to join, because if we are going to win this, we're going to need, and we get the title card of Invincible with more space in the background there. We get Mark and Nolan kind of hovering above the house talking, and they talk.
Sorry. Just I know you talked about Borg and everything, the cat, but like her bringing up the two butthole thing and him saying like, "Oh yeah, he's full grown. He's full grown.
Yeah, he's full grown."
Dude, that delivery was so good and such a fun way to like.
It's very good.
Like add that weird lore.
Of course, he has two buttholes.
Yeah,
he's full grown. As in, like when they're not full grown, they don't.
We need Alan to see a normal Earth cat now and be like, "Oh, is he like a cub? He's only got one butthole."
Oh my god.
So Mark and Nolan are talking about the war coming up. You can tell that Nolan has kind of explained what his true purpose was coming to Earth. And Mark is basically saying, or Nolan tells him, if you say no and you're not going to come, I'll understand. But Mark basically says that he knows he doesn't have a choice, because even if he doesn't go fight this war, eventually the Viltrumites, if they win, will come to Earth and he'll have to fight them then. So he doesn't really have a choice.
The sun,
Nolan,
in this scene, like the colors and everything, adds just a new look to the show.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And Nolan eventually says like that Mark is going to have to trust him, and Mark does this like chuckle, this little laugh, and like that is sort of the sentiment that Mark has towards Nolan. It's no longer the season 2 meeting him on Thraxa doing the fuck you and like the anger that he has. He's just like disappointed that he has to deal with who Nolan is, because he's lied to them. He's done all these terrible things, and he's just kind of like, it's an extra thing on Mark's plate now, it almost feels like. And it's this very new dynamic for the two of them that I really enjoyed. Like, I think Mark is reacting appropriately to the things that Nolan said.
It does make you feel like, I don't really like when people are mean to other people when they're trying to like be nice, but I get it. Like, I really get it. Like season
There's
1,
a lot of that.
Yeah, season 1 was Mark looking up to his dad and I love you, like you're my hero. After that, it was anger, like you said, Wyatt, and it's like, fuck you. It's like everything's out, like everything's 100% just anger. And this is just like, bro, I'm over you, man. I don't even
Yeah.
see you as
Three-
like
I'm trying
like
to
it's-
deal with the fact that I just met Satan and I'm, trying to be a
Yeah,
better person, and now you're here putting this all on my plate. Like,
yeah.
But
Yeah,
also
it's
like
showing the
frustrating.
aging really well.
I think it says something too. Like last episode in the Hell episode when he's talking about his father, he's talking about like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's dead. He's out there, he's
Mhm.
Yeah.
last I
Yeah.
saw him, he was doing this and he got captured by Viltrumites and pretty sure he's dead. So he thought his father was dead. And then when he sees him, he still has a conversation with him like this. Like it really goes to show that like, you're just another person to me. You're not my father anymore.
Because it feels like it's almost as though he has been broken, like physically and mentally, by this guy that like Bill or Wyatt said, like I'm just tired, man. You know what I mean? Like,
why would he open himself up to a closer
Mhm.
relationship with Nolan right now when everything that has happened, like,
Yeah.
and
It
it's
also
almost
goes
as
to
if Nolan
show
knows that, and
Yeah.
he expresses that later in the episode.
It also goes to show
Yeah.
that Nolan has been focused on those relationships, and it's all that he's been thinking about way more than what they have been. Like they have
Yeah.
moved on.
Yeah.
They've been forced to let go
They
of
make
that.
it, I know we're getting a lot of the stuff out now, but like they make it pretty clear that he's acting pretty selfish this episode. Like it is all
Yeah.
about what he wants and how he
Mhm.
thinks these situations and these conversations should go.
What would you do though? Wouldn't
that-
you think that would be the right thing to do? Like I
To that
totally
point-
get it.
To that point, they fly back down because Nolan says like there's something else he needs to do, and you see Nolan and Mark talking to Eve and Alan, and Alan's like, yeah, I agree, this is a bad idea, and he's like, don't you have something to do? And Alan's like, yeah, I gotta go find Tech Jacket. So he leaves and flies off, and Nolan says like, Debbie deserves, your mom deserves an apology from me. And Mark's like, yeah, she does, but who are you doing it for? Like,
Mhm.
Mark is just like laying down the truth to Nolan of like, yeah, she does deserve an apology and you did do something terrible, but you don't want to go there because that's giving her what she deserves. You want to go there because you're hoping she says, I forgive you, or it's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you want to do that for you. And so we have that little
Is that
lecture.
why? Do you guys think that's why?
I think it's
Yes.
part of it.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's a selfish thing, sure.
I miss my wife. He wants to fix what he broke.
He says
but
he as
broke
much.
it so bad that Mark's argument is that you need to you've done the damage. You should just let it be. Like, don't reopen those wounds. Like that's the argument.
And again, I know we're jumping around here, but like Ryan said, that's the theme with Nolan the entire episode up until he leaves, which is like we even see him. And again, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but later on with Art, he's like, who's this Paul guy? Like I met him once before, but he didn't really give me a long lasting impression.
Yeah.
He's jealous. You know what I mean? So I think him going to see Debbie is like Ryan said, like he wants there to be resolution there, but
so we cut
we'll
to nighttime essentially, and I had in my notes for the scene because I put like what each scene is as a little header for myself to keep it organized, and I just put Sandra Oh and J.K. Simmons pop off. You know what I mean? Like this is their moment that we've been like building the emotional groundwork for since season 1. You know what I mean? Like all of this emotional payoff of them talking to each other again has not happened since like Debbie threw the wine bottle at him in season 1. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of where we left off, and her watching footage of him saying she's more of a pet to me, and her breaking down into tears. Like that's where this dialogue stopped, and now we're picking it back up. And that's why that's why when this played, like, and it'll probably show on the reactions too, all of us were like holding our breath. It got so quiet because we were just like hanging on every single word. Nolan goes to ring the doorbell, but he stops himself and walks away. He hears the door open, looks back, and Debbie opens the door, stands there, and walks away and leaves the door open. And immediately we were just like, power move. Debbie's so cool. Like, you're here. You might as well come in. I'm not going to
Guys, this is a human female that is like not strong. She's mortal, right? Fucking going toe to toe with. We saw what Viltrum life was like.
Yeah.
And she just
not
doesn't
scared.
care. She's like, come on in.
Compare that to Art and what happened. Oh my God, it's so good, guys. It's so good.
The music, when she opens up the door and you see the silhouette, the music in the background is so good. It's subtle, but it's so ominous. And it's just like, oh, like you feel everything you're
I
supposed
need-
to feel.
I need someone to make a cut of just Debbie montage to I Need a Hero. Like dun 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 dun.
She
dun. Oh my
again
god.
continues to be the biggest hero of the show. So
Yeah.
Nolan walks in. Debbie has her back turned to him, and he says, "You know, Mark told me that me coming to apologize was selfish, and I think maybe he was right." And there's just this awkward silence where Debbie doesn't respond. And maybe my favorite line delivery that J.K. Simmons gives is he just very quietly says, "Do you want me to go?" Like, and that feels so human and realistic.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, you're not even responding. Your back is turned. I can tell, like, I'm scared because you're clearly very upset. Do you want me to just leave? And
Yeah.
she says nothing. So
Yeah.
then he keeps
He
talking.
takes that as
and
a,
he's like,
okay.
okay, you want me to be here? And he starts doing all of the apologies, and he starts saying all the things that he did wrong. And again, he is doing his best to take responsibility and mention all of the things he did, whether that's abandoning Oliver, about hurting people in Chicago, about killing the Guardians. Like, he has clearly
I think
made
was
this list of what I did
very-
wrong, and I need to atone for it.
very impressive and cohesive apology and list. Like for what it's worth, and it can never be enough. Words are never, you know what I mean? But like, I don't remember this even close to the comic, but like
No.
listing all of these people and like the J.K. Simmons delivery of like how it almost hurts to say each one. And he's listing each thing with like intention and saying it, and then saying the next thing, and then saying the next thing. It's not like he's just, this, and this. It's so good.
It's so real. It's so real. It just feels like a conversation that, obviously it's the furthest thing from real. Like, what we don't have, but just the conversation just felt so organic and so authentic, and they have such good chemistry together. It's so good.
This right here, this scene, when we say, I know I said it, that the show is better than the comic, this is why. You get this.
It feels very much like, if we are going to have a scene with these two characters talking again, they have to both address everything that is a problem that he lied about, right? It can't just be like, I'm sorry I lied to you and called you a pet. It's not that. It's that he lied about killing the Guardians. It's that he lied about who he was for so long. Like, all of this stuff, Nolan continues
Oliver,
and says,
Chicago,
I'm almost 1,000 years old, but 20 years with you made me human.
Yeah.
I know forgiveness is earned and not asked for, so I'm not asking for it, but I will spend the rest of my life trying to repair the damage that I did. And Debbie finally starts talking, and she says, repair the damage.
And
you
laugh
still
a little
think-
bit.
We all just
A
go,
little,
oh,
a little laugh.
little chuckle,
A little-
and she says, you still think you can do anything with your superpowers, don't you? And she just turns around, and again, in my notes, Sandra Oh shows us how it's done. Like, this is such an incredible scene and performance by Sandra Oh.
Legit, that apology was so good, and the delivery was so great that I'm like, wow, they're doing it. The minute she chuckles and says, repair the damage, I'm like, oh, fuck, he's wrong.
Oh, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
No,
it's not good.
enough.
It's
Not
Nolan,
even
you should
close.
leave. Nolan, you should go.
Just leave. Yeah, immediately it turns because it's that powerful. Oh,
So, man, and she kind of lays into him for she gives that performance, and then eventually she says, what do you want, Nolan? And he's like stuttering and doesn't know how to respond. He says, I wanted to say I was sorry. And immediately, you said that, you're still here. Like, such a cold, and appropriate line. Like, okay, you said it. What are you waiting for now? Because this is the part what Mark's talking about. If he wanted to say everything he said, he could have said it and then walked away immediately, because he knows he doesn't deserve her forgiveness. And he could have walked away and gone and done all the good things that he says he's going to do. But he's still standing there because he wants her to walk up and hug him. You know what I mean? Like, he wants some kind of recognition.
Salty right now. Why
it's so good, and it's and Debbie is saying all these things because she's like trying to point that out to him as well. That clearly he wants more than just to say sorry.
I want to bring up my favorite part of the entire conversation.
I wonder.
And it's where he's like, no, like, I love you. Like, I've been alive for 1,000 years, and 20 years with you was like I love you. And she was like, please, the second you left Earth, you went and hooked up with an alien on another planet. And he's like, yeah, but I didn't love her. Like, I love you. And she goes, you think that would make me like you more? Like, you think that's okay? No, that makes me hate you more.
Yeah.
Oh, God, Debbie.
So
Yeah.
eventually, after she says, like, yeah, you said that, you're still here. And he says, I missed you. And she says, you missed me?
Yeah.
I missed you, but you killed the man that I loved. And this is where Debbie starts punching him and seemingly breaks her hand and like busts her knuckles open against him and just turns around, and he's like trying to see if he can like help or console her. And she just lets out this like scream, like just
where
like,
does that come from?
Yeah.
Is there any other real emotion? Like, what the fuck? How brave do you have to be to sit in a box and just fucking emote and scream? Because that's all that you can do? That's good.
Why this scene works so well, and so many scenes in this show, but this one is such a clear like showcase of it, is that everybody working on this show does not look at the superhero tights and the magical powers and say like, oh, this isn't that serious. Everybody is taking these characters seriously and still getting to do fun things. But when we're dealing with emotions and betrayal and all of that stuff, we're treating these characters like they're real characters. And I think that's why this scene, to Bill's point, was like getting me so riled up, is because like there have been real arguments with people where people are saying they're sorry and kind of expecting something back for it. And that's not how sorry works. Like, and they're playing with that dynamic of like apologizing and trying to atone is not so you get something back. And that is Debbie in this moment trying to essentially having to teach Nolan that. And she ends it with saying, if I was supposed to change you, I failed. You're not one of us. You're not human. You're barely a bad photocopy. You got to say what you wanted to say. Now get the fuck out of my house and never come back.
Fuck.
And he like just flies out of the door.
One of my favorite parts is after the scream and she's holding her bloody knuckles, and there's this long pause of them just staring at each other. And there's nothing, and then she just goes, "Am I still your pet?"
Still your pet.
Like, oh,
and he looks disappointed in himself, and he goes, "You never were." Like it's him. Like, it's that moment where you said something you didn't mean in the past, and you're like, "No, I know you're throwing that back at me, and I know I deserve that, but no, I don't mean that." Type of feeling. Like it's. But
again, just going back to like what Bill said, is that like completely unafraid, just willing to like break her knuckles on him and then still throw it in his face, like just.
And Nolan, I think to an extent it shows that Debbie, in a way, does know who Nolan is, and she has seen through a lot of his BS from the past, and that these events maybe confirmed suspicions that she had about who he was. You know what I mean? Like it's such an impressive scene, impressive performance, and the writing, like the writing of this scene is what makes it work, and what makes Sandra Oh and J.K. Simmons able to do this awesome work too.
It's crazy too, because like Nolan's probably thinking like, oh, Mark told Debbie about our conversation that we had in the sky before we fought, where I called her a pet, and he doesn't even know that she was listening to everything you were saying. So good.
True.
I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of this animated series, if this is in the conversation of like top 5 scenes, like this scene is
for sure.
Yeah.
With redemption, like I'm trying to remember like how redemption arcs work in movies, and I know how it worked in this comic book, which it was you're very much on Nolan's side. You are very much on Nolan's side.
People don't remember
you want
like
Nolan to be forgiven. And this is the complete opposite. It's like I feel like redemption arcs are always like you're rooting for the person to be redeemed. You're rooting for Zuko to be redeemed. You're rooting for Spike to be redeemed. But very rarely are you like rooting for the person who like, you know, is on the opposite end of that. And this is that. This is like Debbie's
it makes
right.
you feel really conflicted.
Super fucking conflicted. It's hard.
But
it's hard.
To tack on to your point, and again, this is a fluid breakdown. All right, we're gonna be fluid with it. But again, they to your point, Bill, like the show itself leans into that, because he continues to be an asshole later on, like when we see like the Oliver stuff. And again, we'll get to it, but it's just a theme with him where like they're knowingly making him selfish and knowingly making him like I don't know, a dick. So you are supposed to be conflicted because you love Nolan and you see that he's trying, but at the same time, this episode really makes you realize like, no, he is a dick, and I forgot about that because of all the fun stuff with Battle Beast and Alan. but no, his actions have consequences, more so in the show than the comic book, to your point.
Debbie said it, that he thinks he can fix things, and some things you can't fix, and he's going into this with like I can fix this, and Debbie is trying to tell him like, no, there's some things that you're never going to fix, that you can't take
Wyatt,
back.
I think the most powerful thing that I've ever heard you say, and I've heard you say a lot of words and sentences, is that's not how sorry works.
Yeah. Man. I mean, he wants everything to be fixed, and he wants to repair the damage, to his words and Debbie's as well. And this scene is about Debbie basically being like, fuck you for thinking you can repair the damage. Like that's you not taking the damage serious enough. Yeah.
We need to move on, because I am
I know.
I am in a bog of sadness.
We're done with the Debbie and Nolan podcast. We'll have to do a whole nother episode for the rest of episode 5.
I think we're done. However, it deserved that conversation.
It did.
Not to just fun times to be had, because we got to Walking Dread, who is attacking some like construction site, absorbing power, and we get the song "Cool for You" by Haiku Hands playing as we are introduced formally this time, not just the cameos we got at the end of last season, to Tech Jacket, who shows up, is fighting Walking Dread, and goes to save one of the workers, and the worker's like, you're the fucking man, and the helmet comes off, and we meet Zoe, who says, nope, and my dad would really appreciate if you didn't say, and then the beam comes in, she goes, fuck, and she like puts up the shield.
Elephant in the room. Tech Jacket's a girl. I fucking love Tech Jacket. All right, and I am total. They got the tone right. That's all that matters, is did they get the character right? And they did. And it just so happens that the character has a vagina instead of a penis, and I'm cool with it.
Yeah. I mean, I love that the introduction is like badass Tech Jacket doing all the cool stuff. The suit looks great. It's all working well, like fighting the way you'd want them to fight. And then, the self-aware, you're the man. Nope. Like making fun of that. The relationship with the dad, like she's awesome. She's hilarious. I love what they're teeing up with her. I'm very, very excited about it.
I like how one thing we didn't mention at the very beginning of the episode, where Nolan is on top of the roof with Alan and goes, don't you have someplace to be? And he's like, I got to go find Tech Jacket. I got to get them to join the war.
That's the second time they use.
Well, also because
I thought that was
because he doesn't know whether it's male or female at that point. They just know there's a hero called Tech Jacket. But I agree.
But like smart way to
to not necessarily say to default to him or something. But to the point you guys are making, I love Tech Jacket as well. Like, and this scene introducing Zoe, and the tone is so perfect. Like the action sequences are so cool. The way that like the armor gets damaged and then it's doing the repairing stuff. Like I'm getting everything that I want out of Tech Jacket being a part of this story. And I have like, again, I think the reason that we're also very much addressing this, and Bill talked about it as the elephant in the room, is we're seeing the scuttlebutt online right now. This episode's not out, so we're not seeing how people have reacted to it yet. But we've seen the people being like, is Tech Jacket going to be a girl? And are we going to not get, the
Zach?
beard joke later on? And we're not going to get Zach? And like, I get that. It's a difference. It is always hard if you're very attached to specific details of a comic. The comic is still there. Like I feel no loss by
Zach is in the beginning of our podcast intro. We love Zach.
Yeah.
If I can touch on that too, like putting myself in that situation, just trying to like, play devil's advocate. If like early on they were like, oh, Rexplode's my favorite character, right? Rexplode, we're gonna make him a girl. Putting myself in that situation, I understand why people are saying what they're saying to a degree, but I think the majority of that for me would be based in just fear of it not being the lovable character that I've grown to love throughout the comic. But two things to say on that. First of all, it's only one episode in. I love Zach Thompson, but I love Zoe too. Like we've had enough of the show to where you should be able to, you've gotten this far. Like the show hasn't steered us wrong yet. Just let it be what it is. Yeah. And even if she is a vastly different character, like Wyatt said, we have the comic. You can go read Tech Jacket. You know what I mean?
And I mean, I don't love that like oh, you don't like it? There's the fucking road. Like, there's your comic back there. I get, like, yeah, if you want Zach, read the comic. Here's the thing, guys. If you literally just like octave Zoe's voice down and shave her head, you can't tell the difference. You literally cannot tell the difference. The character is the same. The quips, the relationship with the dad, the relationship with Alan you can already tell they're gonna have a really fucking fun relationship.
Yeah.
It's the same character.
Yeah. And yeah, we might not get a beer joke or something, but I'll give up the beer joke to not just have another dude that looks like Mark among 7 other dudes fighting the war.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And we'll get to it, but even the little moment where like she's connecting with Oliver, I know like while we were watching, Bill was immediately like, are they gonna possibly have a little like, you know, young love together? Like that's so exciting. There are new possibilities that are exciting. And to touch on some of the points you guys brought up of like the rest of this scene, again, she saves like she defeats the Walking Dread, does the big giant beam and takes it out. All the workers are clapping and she's like, no, you don't have to do that. And they stop and she's like, oh, a little bit. You could do a little bit.
Yeah.
Great little funny joke. Her dad calls and says like, I need you to come up here because we have a visitor. Alan is there. He is on the like ship with them, explains the whole war situation happening. They like sort of recited back and her dad is like very supportive and like, yeah, go do this. And he's like, oh wow, you're not going to try and talk her out of it. And he's like, no, always happy about, you know, my baby girl doing the right thing. And they hug. Alan gets emotional, hugs both of them. It's a great funny little moment that again already starts to build Alan's relationship with Zoe here.
If I may, just one slight issue I had with Tech Jacket overall in this episode was the overused use of just the cannons. Like Tech Jacket, that suit is malleable and can do anything. Like can do anything. And I get it. Like given in space, what are you gonna do? You can't really throw punches at Viltrumites. Shoot them, right? But like fighting the Walking Dread, I feel like it could have been a little bit.
I liked
more
the jetpack.
diverse.
I liked seeing the damaged suit. I liked the force field, like the shield. I thought there was a decent amount of variety given, you know, animation and what they can do and all that kind of stuff. We talk about it with Eve's powers all the time, but like, I'm just saying. I kind of disagree.
There's the comic, Bill. You want that? Go read the comic.
I will say, talking about her dad is like knowing that she's a superhero and saying like, oh, you have to go fight this person or that person. Like, if you were to tell my daughter, like, we need you to go fight Omni-Man.
I wouldn't let Remy go.
Omni-Man, right?
No.
Omni-Man. I would say, go fuck. You're not going. There's no shot. But before that, they preface it to say, like, you want me to fight a bunch of beings that are just as powerful as Omni-Man?
And
you're
also
definitely not going. You're fucking grounded.
And also say, but if you don't, they're going to come here and enslave us all anyways. So it's kind of you kind of have to. Like
that. Like Zach's dad is. Sorry, Zoe's dad is very immature. Is very like shoot from the hip. He got in trouble with like mobs and gambling and stuff. So he's not like a great dad. I think he is more. I think Eve's dad is a more responsible dad, TJ, to what you're saying, because he didn't want Eve to be a superhero, pretty much. So you're agreeing with Adam Wilkins right now, right?
Don't engage, TJ. Don't engage.
Bring Adam
TJ?
into this.
Is that
This
what
is a great episode. Don't bring Adam into this.
So I mean, it tracks. He's very much like he's in it for himself as well. Not saying that he's selfish, but he does love being the guy in the chair because that's who he is. He's the guy in the chair for his daughter,
for sure. So we cut back to the Grayson household. It is dark in the living room and Debbie is drinking in the living room. And immediately, like, I got kind of sad because we've had the whole kind of arc with Debbie. And I know she's like had a glass of wine here and there in different moments, I think, since the worst part of it in like season 2. But yeah, it was just a sad thing of like, Debbie's definitely going through it right now. Mark comes in and he kind of sits with her, asks about her hand, and she says, I got carried away, but it was worth it. And yeah, great little line of like, yeah, she was glad to have got to punch Nolan. Oliver comes home and he finds the two of them there and like, what's going on? And we kind of fast forward a bit where they've explained what's happening in what's happened already to Oliver, and Oliver is rightfully so pissed off, and he's like, Dad came and he didn't even see me, like,
I would
and
be so mad.
Mark immediately is trying to be like, well, I don't think he meant anything by it, and Oliver's like, he didn't mean anything by not seeing me, and Mark's like, you're right, why am I making excuses for him? Like, that's terrible, he shouldn't have done that. And Oliver is immediately like, I'm going with you on this war. They first try to talk him out of it. Mark saying, I need you to stay here and take care of Earth. He's like, I'm not falling for that. And he gets this, one of the best performances by Christian Convery, and just a great Oliver moment when he like gets emotional and says like, I couldn't save my mom on my home planet, and I'm going to save this one. And you can't stop me from doing that. Like, you can tell he's getting emotional. And that's when Debbie is like, okay, like, you guys take care of each other and you watch out after each other. And they have this like family hug. And Debbie says like, before you go though, there's one more thing that I want. And it cuts to the dinner montage, which I will say, I was before we move on, I was a little bit confused about the timeline, because it's like, it looks like sunset almost when Nolan first shows up and him and Mark are in the sky. And he's like, okay, well, we'll go tomorrow morning because I have stuff to do tonight. And then it's dark when Nolan shows up.
So that's
the
first night.
Dark. But then when they're having dinner, it's light outside again, and it's going dark as they have dinner. I was confused a little bit about it, but again, maybe there was sunrise. Who really knows? It doesn't really matter that much.
Going back one step where we're talking about like how Oliver was saying, like, I just want to, like, I'm going with you because my mom there I couldn't save, so I'm gonna save my mom, my new mom. I saw on Instagram or Twitter or somewhere somebody like posted like a meme or something stating that one of the most underrated relationships in Invincible is Oliver and Debbie. And that was before episode 5 was even public and live. And like, people, man, it really is.
Yeah,
really
I really love in the comic. I don't know if, I'm sure he does, but he definitely doesn't love Debbie this much in the comic compared to the show. In the show, he's like, you're my mom. I love you. Give me a hug. Like, they
get close a bit later, but you'll
they do a good job in the show of having the little moments. In episode 1, Oliver flies off with his coffee, but then flies back to give her a hug, and like those little moments built up to this, and then the performance that Christian Convery gives in it is just really great too.
I love the dinner montage. It's just one of those things that just help flesh out this episode of just having it all. We get to see Paul and Eve, and just that happy moment of just kind of like slice of life, and a nice moment to kind of like sit and calm before the storm, reflect, and what is going through Debbie's mind, and just kind of cherishing this last bit of normalcy before everything changes.
And it ends with everybody else getting up and like cleaning their plates off, taking them to the kitchen, and ends with Debbie alone at the table putting the candles out. You know what I mean? Where she is going to be alone after they leave. And I forgot to look up the song for this one, but there's great music playing during this as well. Like it's so well done.
I got it. It is right here. It is called oh shoot, sorry. All right, got it. Clementine by Sarah Jaffe.
Oh, nice.
And such a good moment. Yeah.
It's just so heartfelt. It's those moments, anytime they're all at the dinner table, I feel like, is the moments where I'm like, I love these characters so much. I just want them to be happy and have nice dinners every day, and they never get to. We cut to Art's tailor shop, where he looks in the reflection of the glass as he's maybe like locking up for the night, and he sees Nolan. He's there with a 6-pack, and he wants to have some beers with Art. And he says, just like old times. Again, Nolan, you don't get to go back to old times after you did this. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson? That made me mad, honestly, of Nolan being like, just like old times. Like, you killed a bunch of people. You can't just act like that didn't happen.
His response. His fucking response.
Perfect.
Him saying, what are you wearing?
He says, what are you wearing? It cuts to them on the roof, and Art's like, poking fun at the costume, not having shoes. And Nolan's like, I kind of like it. It makes me feel grounded. And he's like, oh, great. You go to space and then you come back a hippie. Like, Art is, to his credit, as we see at the very end, Art is not just relaxed here. He is putting on a very good show of treating Nolan like it's old times and that everything is okay. And they, just have that back and forth. Nolan, to what TJ mentioned before, Nolan asks about Paul, and Art tells him, he makes Debbie smile. He's good with the kids. He's kind of ordinary, but I think that's, what she's looking for after you. And they're talking about the war, and Nolan says, like, if I survive this, when I come back, you can redesign this thing however you want. And Art says, yeah, but I closed your account because I only make suits for heroes. And Nolan's like, oh yeah, sure. And Art is like, yeah, I've got a pretty big day tomorrow, lots of repairs. So, and Nolan's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go. Yeah.
Was that too harsh? This is what I mean. Like, I feel bad like that. Like, I get it, dude. You know what I mean? Like, him defending Paul and not being like on Nolan's side, like, yeah, you're a better man. Like, being like, yeah, Paul's a great guy. Fuck you, you know? But then, like, that was a shot. It made me feel bad. Like,
it makes me feel bad only because we have been with Nolan at the black hole. We've been with Nolan in the prison, hoping that his life just ends because he regrets his things. Art saw Nolan kill a bunch of people in Chicago and throw Mark through the train and all of this terrible stuff, and heard about it from Mark. And then this man disappeared, who he thought was this nice guy, and now he's just here sitting next to you. And so Art's supposed to pretend like he's not scared that this person could snap and kill him too.
This is his best attempt at trying to get him to not come back to him, because otherwise it's like, yeah, I'll do that. This can keep going. This is it's closed.
Art is setting polite boundaries in the most polite way, probably more polite than Nolan really deserves. Like, he should have just been like, what are you doing here? Please leave. Like, that's probably the more honest response that he could have given.
He went that entire time, like, not even knowing, like, were Nolan and I even friends to begin with? Like, was I just, you know what I mean? Like, he was.
Am I a pet too? Like,
we don't know who Nolan was when he was on Earth, because he was playing house the whole time. He was faking it. And then also he sat with Debbie. Art sat with Debbie and saw her crying and saw how it affected her. Like, fuck, dude. Nolan. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. I'm glad he got like a little shot in there. And even then, it wasn't like that bad. It was just like, hey, we're not
the whole time. It
like
was still anymore. Mark Hamill being a sweet old man. You know what I mean?
I wanted to make a comment. I'm glad you said that too. I wanted to make this comment too. I even wrote it down. We see a lot of characters and voice actors get replaced. They're big time actors. They're going on doing other things. They're replacing voice actors with voice actors that are at least just as good, if not even better. So we're very lucky there. But I'm so happy that we have held on to Mark Hamill, and that he likes the show enough to continue it. And we're so lucky. So
not
lucky.
Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker is going to keep giving us this joy.
Even though this was a really, really great scene, it probably would have stood as the weakest scene, or just an okay scene, if it weren't for the last second that made the whole scene another level. But the minute Omni-Man flies away and he just like panic attack
collapses and has that gasp of like, oh my God, I almost died. Like,
like he was terrified that entire time, that him having to put on that show and pretend and everything like that is
a scene very well borrowed from Inglourious Bastards when Shoshana is sitting in the having the friggin' pastry or whatever, and then he gets up and leaves, and she's like,
you're right.
Like, it was very much the same, but I loved it. Yeah, it was great.
So we cut to Mark's room, and Mark and Eve are laying in bed together, and they're talking about the first time that they met, and how Mark didn't know what he was doing. They're definitely naked.
Oh, they were.
They look naked.
They're under the covers. They talk about Amanda and Robot being gone in the Flaxen Dimension, and Mark's confident they'll find a way back, but Eve talks about how everything feels like it's changing and not for the better. Like, she didn't think Rex would die, and he's gone now, and all of this stuff just getting worse and worse. And like, Mark says that it's going to be okay because he loves her, and they have this cute little moment where she's like, that's sweet that you think that the power of our love is enough to conquer anything, and Mark says, like, I've got to believe in something. And Mark says, like, oh, you wanted to tell me something before Alan and my dad arrived. What was it? And she's like, it's not important. You're leaving for who knows how long soon. Like, what could be more important than that? And they go to, cuddle and fall asleep. And as Mark closes his eyes, Eve's still awake, and she says, "Mark, don't die." And he says, "I'm not going to." And he tells her to look at him and says, "Do you believe me?" And it's just so like, it's very emotional, very emotional.
The end.
Yeah,
that's where it feels like it's like that was an episode.
I was already at this point just being like, this is too much. It's too much. Yeah. It's too heavy. I can't do anymore. And we're like not even in space yet.
I think this is where I said when we were watching it, like there's still half an episode left.
This episode, yeah. So then we cut to outside the Grayson household in the morning. It seems like Debbie's saying goodbye to Mark and Oliver as they get ready to fly off. Oliver has packed all his video games and his homework that Debbie made sure he takes, which, man, rough break, dude. Kid's going to war and he's got to bring homework. Like, I feel bad for Oliver in that moment. So they both kind of promise to be careful. They have the fun little bit where Mark's like, it's war. It's like the opposite of careful, but they promise anyways that they'll be careful. Great little moment with Paul being like, "Give them hell, boys." And Debbie's looking at him like, "Come on." And he's like, "Carefully, of course." Like,
yeah.
Mark tells Eve that he's going to think about her every day. And then we get the funny little bit of Oliver going, "So how do we breathe in space?" And we just get Mark saying, "That's the neat part," but they cut away to not give us the line. And like, Invincible is so great about doing that, where you get the callbacks, you get Mark saying a line that somebody else said, and like I wasn't even expecting that to happen. And such a fun moment.
I like seeing Oliver hug Paul too.
Yeah. Oliver hugs Paul, and then Mark walks up and like shakes his hand because he's more of like Mark's trying to do his best to say that he's an adult now, even though he is still very young. So then we cut to the like cargo bay of the Venture, where Mark and Oliver arrive onto the ship. Oliver's super excited. He has the line of like, "I haven't been on a spaceship since I was a baby." Like, he's all excited about it. Nolan eventually walks into the cargo bay and is like furious that Oliver's there, and he's demanding that Mark take Oliver back home. Another just incredible Oliver scene where he's just like, "No, I'm not going back." And he says like, "You don't get to tell me what to do. You didn't even come to see me." And like the way he says that to Nolan is just so like, and Nolan says, "This isn't what I wanted." And Oliver goes, "Yeah, me neither." And just walks
And
past.
This is the first time Oliver has seen Nolan.
Yes.
Like since he was an infant. And
since Nolan was like, "Take him to the cave. Go."
Yeah. He's so excited to see him when he first walks in. Like he like lights up. And then
I didn't see the light up. I was about to touch on that. Like the look on his face, he looked like nervous and scared, but not like in a positive or negative way. Like I think
he was kind of charging in, I guess.
I think that the way Oliver looked told me that what Nolan said next was going to dictate how Oliver reacted.
Sure.
I think that if Nolan had walked in and was like, oh, like even if he was like subtly, like not even anything like overjoyed or anything, just like, "Hey Oliver, how you doing? Like, Mark, you guys ready to go?" I feel like Nolan or Oliver would have been a little bit more like, "Oh yeah, I'm ready." Like maybe not like hugged him or anything, but he looked scared in that moment. Like my stomach dropped for him in that moment. And then for Nolan to act the way he did, react the way he did, like, "Why are you even here?" Oliver was like, "All right, fuck this." And then was just like, "I'm done with this. I'm fucking going. Fuck yourself."
I think part of the reason it's like that scene and their reactions are so kind of open to interpretation is that like Oliver is so justified to really have any emotion in that scene. He could be justified in like, "This is my dad. I haven't seen him in forever. I just want to hug him and I want to establish some kind of connection." He's also very justified in being like, you didn't come to see me even when you did come here, and you abandoned me, and like I'm pissed at you for that. Like he has every right to feel either way about it. And like, especially a teen's relationship to their dad is that complicated in a lot of ways. And this obviously, with all of the different elements of it, is even more complex. Oliver kind of storms off. Nolan tries to argue with Mark, and Mark says, "This was a family decision and we decided this with Mom." Very clearly, like, and you're not part of the fucking family because of what you did. Like that's how this works. You don't get to decide. And Nolan says like, "I wanted to spare him." And Mark's like, "He's a good fighter. Like he can be useful." And he's like, "No, I wanted to spare him from me." And Mark is like, "Oh my God, like you loser. Like stop Like he doesn't say that
again,
word
like,
forward, but
I
he's
feel
like, this is the same thing you did with mom. It's not about him. It's about you. And you're trying to save yourself from this stuff. And he ends it by being like, Oliver used to idolize you. What do you think the O on his costume stands for? It's not for Oliver. Like, and just
Grow the
walks
fuck up.
dude,
like,
I feel like a lesser show would have been like, oh, I wanted to spare him from me. Boom, cut to the next scene or whatever.
Yeah,
Because that's
yeah.
like that was the punch back. But then to counter that again, to like Uno reverse or whatever back and be like, oh, give me a break. Like this is about you again.
Like he's trying to be cinematic about it. Like, shut the fuck up. This isn't like
the theme
Tuesday
of this
morning
episode.
soap opera.
The theme of this episode is just
Nolan
because you're
failing.
sad about it, Nolan.
Yeah,
we don't get-
Nolan.
Nobody's going to give you a hug because you're sad about the mess you got yourself into and the bad things that you did. Like,
But
it is very, and again, it is a lot. I agree to Bill's point that it is like, to a certain extent, you are like, man, he is really like getting kind of the cold shoulder at every angle, but it is deserved. Like it is, Nolan is the reason for a lot of these things.
This is literally what we talked about. This is literally what we talked about after season 1. How?
Yeah.
How do they do this? And it's probably not even done. Like they got to keep so.
Yeah.
But shout out to the MVP of the scene,
the doors.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That part was great. That part was great.
And consistent.
Doors.
There is not a missed opportunity to make those doors creak and sound like they're about to fall.
And we get Mark leaving through the doors close, and then we hear that tech jacket Zoe has landed and we have this moment where she goes, is this the right place? Holy crap. She's on
it was so good.
You're not gonna kill me, are you? Like the great, like one of the funniest faces as well when she's like trying to smile but terrified. Like that moment alone, I was just like, I love Zoe. This is so great. I love the dynamic, the tension of the family drama, then immediately cut by Zoe being, the kind of silly character here. Was great. So good.
As Tech Jacket should be. Just the silly character amongst all this random weird shit.
Exactly. And so we cut back to the bridge of the Venture, and Telia is like telling the crew to plot a course for Telescria. We get the captain being like, can I have command back of the ship? Because he really wants to be the person to say it. But Telia says no, and she gives the order to engage.
Yeah.
And we cut to the Pentagon where Cecil and Donald and all the crew are watching this ship like charging up and getting ready to leave. And it leaves, and he's like, all right, everybody, stand down. Like they left, and everyone takes a big deep breath. And you can see that Cecil's a little shaken. Donald's like, what is it? And he goes, it's the first time in 20 years this planet has been Viltrumite free. And Donald says, is that a good thing or a bad thing? And he says, I guess we're going to find out. And that's such a it's such a great moment where, it's
a great moment for those characters, but then also a great moment to leave Earth because it tells the viewer, hey, what's going to happen?
We're going to find out if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And I think Cecil ends it by saying like, Godspeed, boys, don't fuck it up. Yeah. Because he also knows that like, even though, it's probably good to not have Nolan here, he knows where they're going is probably an important thing that they need to do.
Yeah.
Then we get another scene on the Venture where Telia is like over the intercom explaining that it's going to be 2 weeks, a 2-week trip to Telescria, and that we get a great like montage of all of the gang just like settling into routines. We get a little scene with Oliver and Zoe having a moment where they're talking about how cool space is. We see the two of them playing video games together at one point. We see Alan like giving Oliver fighting tips where he's like having him punch and stuff, which is really cool.
I do think it's important to call out in case anyone misses it, because I see this brought up all the time, even pre-animated series. Telia calls out, make sure to stop by and get your communication implant.
Yep, that's right.
So everybody in space has one of these. Just blanket statement. If you
That's
don't
why
know,
they're not
they
talking
do.
where there's no sound in space.
I'm
I did find that.
Oh, the Viltrumites, they have them too. The space racer, he got one. Like everybody's got one.
Yeah.
If you're a space traveler, you got one.
You got one.
Yeah.
I did find it interesting, and it stuck out to me this episode, which I'm sure it's happened in previous episodes, and maybe I just didn't notice it. But there's a part of my brain that was like trying to make it work and figure out in moments where like Oliver is communicating telepathically using the communicator thing to Mark, but he's like, yeah, I'm okay. And he's like taking a breath. And I'm just like, how does that work? Is it just that
I
you're
thought that
thinking?
too.
And I went way down the rabbit hole. Not important. Again,
I thought
they're
that too. Like,
talking
would
to
you
each other
would
using
you
the
breathe
implants.
out of breath? Like, would your thoughts be?
Yeah. But like
Yeah.
he just got punched. So, you know, he's thinking that he would probably sound that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get the big montage. We see them all like having a meal together, and you know, Nolan is very much on the outside of the circle of people talking. He looks very sad. Later, we see Nolan kind of walk into a room, and Oliver is sitting there on the couch, and Oliver immediately gets up and leaves and does not want to stay in the same room as Nolan. Nolan uses the ship's like food machine and asks for the protein tubes with the white sauce, which just kind of sounds gross, honestly. And he gets that thing, the food drops down, and he sends him into a flashback where we see an early date with him and Debbie eating pasta. You assume he flew them to like Italy or something. They're eating pasta, and they have this just very sweet back and forth where they're clearly very, very in love. And then it cuts back to Nolan looking at this gross, you know, space food, just very much realizing that he cannot fix things, and he's realizing what truly he lost. You know what I mean? Like that he had, Debbie said it in their scene, that was one of the lines that I forgot, when she says like, we had everything. I loved you and we had everything and you threw it all away. And this is, I think, him truly like understanding that of like, yeah, he really did love his life and it's gone now and he can't get that life back. And maybe in the future, we will see him finding a way to build a new life, but the one he had is gone and he cannot get it back. That's not how this works. So he offers the food to Mark. He's like, are you hungry? I kind of lost my appetite. And he kind of walks off. We go back to the bridge where Alan and Mark are talking about Nolan. And, you know, Alan says that he seems like he's been in a major funk, and they have the little fun back and forth where Alan's trying to explain to him what that means, even though it means the same thing here on Earth. Telly even mentions that, like, yeah, Oliver seems pretty upset with Nolan too. And this is when Zoe comes in and she's like,
yeah, sorry. This is Mark says, yeah, I thought it was about my dad not seeing him, but I think it's something else.
Yeah. Yeah. He's still, they just know that there's like tension there, basically.
So is there something else other than just the abandonment?
I think it's definitely that he didn't want to come see him, but I'm sure it's also probably a little bit of the resentment of like, he told me to go home and he doesn't believe in me like being here. I think that they're really just trying to nail that, like, their relationship is complicated and Nolan has not tried to have a relationship with him at all. Like,
I love that. I mean, because that's really the last that we really get of that, apart from a couple things towards the end. Like, that's where we leave them next episode, which is very exciting.
Yeah, for sure. And you're right that they do kind of make a point to be like, it seems like maybe it's something else. Like Mark says that. So I do wonder if when we get some more scenes with them in the future, if Oliver is going to open up about something more specific than him just not coming to see him. So Zoe walks in and she's like, hey, are the ship's sensors reading anything? Because some of my suits like sensors have been like flagging something. And Telly at first is like, you know, I don't think so, but who knows with this ship. Immediately, alarms start going off. There's something going wrong. They've been hit by something. And Telia says that they have to initiate the separation protocol. Alan, Mark, and Zoe are like, my dad and Oliver are back there. They're going to need help. Come on, we got to go. The bridge separates as the ship like explodes. And Mark, Alan, and Zoe are out in space watching that happen. And now we're out in space. Mark flies through the debris trying to find Oliver. Oliver's like kind of knocked unconscious, but he wakes up and he's okay. And they turn.
We're still going. There's still like 20 minutes.
There's still 20 minutes.
Like 20 minutes.
This is where it starts. This is where it starts.
I was like, okay, Conquest arrives and it ends, right? Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they turn and they see the big Viltrumite ship, and we see Lucan. And in the credits, there was the name Krad, Kradd, which I'm assuming is the other Viltrumite with the like kind of bigger mustache.
Yeah.
And of course, Conquest.
Yeah.
And Conquest smiles and says, "This is what happens when you don't finish what you started, boy." And Oliver says, "We killed you once, we can do it again," and immediately like rushes in. Like
Credits. What an awesome episode.
Yep.
yeah, and that's it. And we'll see you guys next week. Oliver goes to like attack Conquest. Mark tries to follow him, but he is attacked by Lucan. Alan and Tech Jacket are fighting Crad, the third Viltrumite. Oliver, hits Conquest, and like Conquest is visibly hurt, which is like shout out to Oliver. This is more damage I think than he did to Conquest last time. And then he does just like a super speed filled, like just a bunch of body shots against Conquest. Eventually, Conquest grabs his head and starts to squeeze. And this is where the first part of like the gore uncomfortableness starts, where you start to see blood coming from his nose, starting to fill into his eyes. Luckily, at that moment, Nolan arrives, punches Conquest.
Like, this is going to be
hands off my son.
Yeah.
Conquest is already like very much similar to the like stretching scene of season 3, where he's like almost torturing Oliver. But Nolan shows up, punches him, "Get your hands off my son." Great moment. And it's another one of those little one where I'm like, Oliver, you heard that, right? Like,
I know your head is split in half, but you can like, go here, right?
Trust me, I agree. He's a dick. He doesn't deserve forgiveness, but like, just for your sake, I hope you heard that moment. So that happens. We see Mark fighting Lucan again. He kind of like knocks him back and then goes to check on Oliver. Oliver, says he's okay and has this like one of my favorite shots from the episode where Oliver's like smiling, "I'm okay," and he's got the like blood and
kind of reminds you of the Rexplode.
A little bit.
I'm Invincible or whatever one where he's
you know me.
Yeah.
So we get Nolan and Conquest fighting while Alan and Zoe fight the other Viltrumite, and Conquest is just like, "Nolan, everyone's favorite traitor. I can't believe I get to kill you too." And Nolan just says, "You don't." And Conquest goes, "Ah, man, a few words, but they're good ones." Like, Nolan is
so good.
Conquest is like legitimately kind of fangirling out a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, he's just excited to fight Nolan and is like really happy about it. It's very funny. Mark shows up, he hits Conquest and is shouting like, "I killed you." And Conquest says, "Let's be honest, that was mostly the work of your magic girlfriend. How is she, by the way? I can't wait to taste her blood again." And this, of course, sends Mark into a rage. He starts attacking. He's throwing elbows into Conquest's face, just like an MMA fighter. Lucan starts fighting Oliver. Crad is smashing Tech Jacket's helmet. It like crushes to the point where you see a POV shot from her point of view where the screen is like flickering and then just shuts off, and you get this sense of like, oh, she's now just a human floating through space in a tin can. Type
terrifying. Terrifying.
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah. We didn't talk about the voice of the suit.
Oh yeah. We're getting nice little lines of like the suit integrity repairing at, and who is?
Do you guys know who it is?
I don't.
Oh my god, who is?
I didn't look this up.
I got it. No,
it wouldn't surprise me.
It is.
We just
LeVar Burton.
I did see that. So he's doing Lucan and he's doing the voice of.
LeVar Burton, Reading Rainbow.
Oh, you're right. I was mixing him up with
fucking Geordi.
Not Bill Lamar.
Geordi from Star Trek.
Oh yeah, he wasn't he?
Geordi from Star Trek, the guy with the visor.
Yes.
The blind guy.
What? Yes.
Yeah. So cool.
Dude, right?
What the fuck? Oh my god. That's incredible.
It's the voice of Tech Jacket suit. Like, come on.
Incredible. So we get that. She is like, obviously can't see anything, is just kind of like flying through space. Oliver
was there a scene where she was like spinning and he was coming closer? Was that this?
I think so. Yes, and then Alan kind of like intervenes and like kind of saves.
It's the helmet gets smashed, it's flickering, and you can see, oh, he's there, and then he's there, and then it goes whack.
That's the scariest shit
too.
Yeah, that's the scariest shit I've ever seen in my whole life. That's scary.
We get Oliver still fighting Lucan, and Oliver's like charging towards Lucan, and you see Lucan do the thing where he like does the hand like this, getting ready to do the skewering move. And Nolan shows up right before Oliver gets to him and knocks Lucan out of the way. And Oliver immediately is like, I don't need your help. And I was like, but you kind of do. Like, you almost just died. Like, I get it. I'm on your side.
I get you. You're pissed off, but let's hold off on that a little bit.
Yeah. Like, maybe just let him help. Let's all just take the help this time. Alan is fighting Crad, and he tells him they're toast because, it's 3-on-5. Then you see all of the aliens that are like, you assume slaves of the Viltrumites show up and are blasting them with like lasers. And he does the fun line of like, now who is the toast? And Alan's like, clearly you don't know what that means.
Such a good line.
Yeah.
God, the dialogue in this episode.
Oliver gets punched in the gut by Lucan, and you can tell it like knocks the wind out of him. Nolan shows up and is like, do you need to breathe? And Oliver's like, yeah. And he's like, go there. And he points to the planet. So Oliver starts flying off that way. Mark and Conquest are fighting. And again, Mark says, you going to tell me all your deepest feelings again? And Conquest says, that was in confidence. Which, by the way, this will segue to this. Both my predictions for the show, my hot take and my sure thing, Debbie rejects Nolan more aggressively than in the comic. And then there's a reference to the feelings. Feeling pretty good about my two predictions both happening in this episode. Very happy about it. Get that great little moment. Conquest sees Oliver flying down to the planet. He's like, oh no, we can't let your brother miss all the fun. And he like knocks Mark back so that he can go get a lead.
It does like a cool, he pushes off of Mark to both push Mark away and give him a boost towards the planet.
Yep. Very cool. So we cut to the planet where Oliver finally reaches some atmosphere and he finally takes a breath. And just as he does, Conquest just appears,
materializes
in the most terrifying, like anime looking shot, just like a hand up like this, like he's about to just grab him. And it's genuinely like the scariest I think Conquest has looked. The size of how big he is behind Oliver, and there's like the sunlight kind of like flaring off of him as he shows up. It was like there's like a music hit as well. It's just such a great shot to again make you feel tense and afraid during this sequence. Just before he can grab Oliver or smack him or whatever he's going to do, Mark flies in and grabs Conquest. And this is where Mark begins to strangle Conquest and will continue to strangle him for quite some time.
But it's very relevant what he says to him before he starts strangling him.
They're flying through the planet and he says, you're never breathing again. And Conquest is like, it's very hard at certain points. Like, again, watching this scene again, there are parts where it feels like, okay, Mark is flying them both to get them away from Conquest. And then there are moments where Conquest clearly takes control and is the one flying them around to try and bash Mark into mountains and get them off of him. And he's just punching Mark in the ribs the whole time this is happening, punching him in the face, breaking the goggles, all this. We cut out to space. And back in space, Nolan, Alan, and Tech Jacket are fighting the other two Viltrumites. Nolan is like, where'd Mark go? Where's Conquest? And they're like, I think they followed Oliver down to the planet. And Nolan says, like, you guys need to get to safety. You can't win this fight. And he flies off to go chase after Mark and Oliver. Zoe tells Alan, like, hey, follow me. Like, because at first they're like, where are we going to go to find safety? We're in space. She starts flying towards the Viltrumite ship. And Alan's like, this feels like the wrong way. They eventually kind of like round the corner. She seems to disappear for a second. And then you see Alan get grabbed by something and they're both gone. And the Viltrumites can't find them.
Which I loved because it was the Tech Jacket, like tentacles that came and grabbed him.
Very cool. Grabbed him for sure. Yeah. We cut back to the planet and Mark and Conquest are just kind of like tumbling through the air. And Mark has still not let go of Conquest's throat. They crash into the ground and Mark is just pushing Conquest deeper and deeper into the ground. He's on top of him, still, strangling him. And this is where I put the animation kicks up a notch. This immediately we were like, oh, this hair of Mark's is the season 3 finale hair. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it looks like a different show.
Yeah, we notice. And again, I'm totally okay with that. Let me know, hey, we're in for a big moment. Conquest is back. This is the rematch. I'm okay with us having these moments where suddenly, there's maybe a different animation team working on this, or these scenes are treated slightly differently because I'm immediately locked in and worried about what is happening. Conquest like kind of flies up to get on top of Mark, and is like then trying to slam him into the ground this time rather than being underneath Mark. But Mark still does not let go. He's punching Mark over and over. Ribs are clearly breaking. Mark still not letting go. Conquest starts flying then erratically, just bashing Mark into mountains, into the planet's surface. It's just tearing through places. You're just seeing shots of just Mark like dead onto the camera, holding, screaming as rocks are just breaking behind him, like not letting go. And yeah, then you get the wide shots of them just bouncing zigzag back and forth, very erratic, like through the planet. He hits Mark super hard in the stomach, and I just wrote that Mark spits up way too much blood. Like, it's more blood than he should.
At this point, is Conquest's face starting to turn purple?
This is where, yes, we start to notice the shots as they're flying. The front of his face starts turning purple. You see both of his eyes are filling up red, even though like one that doesn't have, a normal eye. Conquest is like, again, on top of Mark, trying to like punch him while he's being strangled, and Mark bites Conquest's thumb off. And you cut to Oliver. Nolan shows up and is like, "Where's Mark?" And Oliver's like, "They were flying too fast. I couldn't keep up with them." They hear bangs off in the distance, so they start flying that direction. We cut back to Mark, and he spits the thumb out, and
while looking at Conquest,
And again, this was like after he bites Conquest and like does a little spit out. This is that Mark. He's back, and he's like very much signaling to Conquest, like, this is not a game. I'm not letting go. And this is when Conquest feels like he doesn't know what else to do, so he does the Viltrumite, skewer hand and pokes through his stomach like he did to Eve last season. And again, Mark just pukes up even more blood somehow and still does not let go of Conquest. And Conquest like falls back onto the floor. At this point, even before Conquest pulls his arm out, things start falling out. And I'm not going to, I did not take extensive notes here. I'm just saying it falls out. He pulls his arm out.
He goes back in for seconds. He goes in for seconds.
And I go, wow, they did way more than I even imagined in the comic. And then it stops, and then it happens again. Like, there are multiple moments where
it could have been,
like, that's all we're going to get. And then it started again.
It could have been half the length, and it would have been a little long. The fact that it went on that long was so...
It was they were making a point. Yeah.
And recently I've seen Kirkman in an interview recently was talking about how that still, even in this season, there are scenes that they have a hard time watching as they're working on the show, and that they kind of like, squirm a little bit as they're watching it. And it feels very much like he is talking about this scene. Here's the still thing. Could be many more that come up later on, but like, this is clearly where they knew, like, in terms of the gore that this show is kind of known for, they felt like they needed to top the headbutting scene from last season, or the Eve scene from last season of what Conquest does. Like,
I would agree, but to me, it didn't feel like let's one up it, let's make it gross to be gross. Like,
I agree.
It felt very much like Conquest is a brutal motherfucker.
Yeah,
and I mean, he talks about tasting Eve's blood and like dancing in entrails and like describing what it's like to tear people in half. Like, this is his character. He's like, oh, I have access to your open gut. I'm gonna just, tug on all your heartstrings.
Yeah, and at this point, he's dying. Like, he is.
Yeah,
and he's grasping at straws.
The fact that, oh my god, and the fact that Mark is still holding on. This is what it means to be invincible. Invincible doesn't win fights because he's strong. He wins fights because he doesn't care if he dies or what happens to him. He just needs to fucking win. And man, what a way to show that. And there's a part 2. Have you guys ever thrown up so much that you can't throw up anymore?
Yes.
And I have.
Time to ask this question.
And when Stephen Yeun goes, and like, you can,
there's some noises in there that
you can hear him like go to vomit, like, and he's like, holy,
He's like,
that,
I don't have a stomach anymore. I can't.
Like you do the dry heave and you're heaving, but nothing comes out, and then you breathe out.
Yeah.
It was so good. Ryan, I'm sorry, dude. I know
Yeah,
it was disgusting, but performance-wise, bro, I mean, he's not talking.
And
he's just emoting.
And to say that, like, I think my point about like them wanting to one up themselves is like you said, Bill, not in a way that they just want gore for gore's sake, because that's never really what this comic or this show has ever been about. But they're one upping themselves because this show is about escalation, and to show that like Mark is in more danger than he has ever been in before. And last season we saw him break every limb and barely survive by being able to headbutt his way out of a fight. And this is to show that like Mark is in even more danger here, and the stakes are even higher than they were before, and he is still not going to let go because he is more determined than ever to survive and to get back to Eve.
For a moment, think about the viewers who haven't read the comics. Eve just said 15 minutes ago, don't die. Promise me you won't die. And now this happens. And well, is this the end of the season? Like where do you go from here? Like this just happened. So yeah, crazy.
Yeah, totally insane.
And speaking of the performance, like his like help, like him saying help is chilling.
Dude, no music. Him Conquest eggs straightening, like his legs were bent and his leg goes like this and straightens, and then Mark and it's the camera's back and Mark just falls quietly off to the side.
Yeah.
So such an awesome shot, dude.
And we cut to Oliver and Nolan like flying in, and they see Mark barely conscious there, just barely able to make out the word help. And Conquest is dead, still grasping the intestines in, his
great shot for shot like panel. Like,
great recreation. And then the pan out to the wide shot to show the just trail of chaos that they've like carved a canyon through this planet with the fight that just happened. And then we cut back to the bridge of the Venture that's now separated from the Venture. And Telia is worried about leaving them all behind. She's tearing up, worried about whether they'll survive. And Thetis tells her that she made the right call. He said the coalition has been in conflict with the Viltrum Empire for too long, and it is time they were truly at war with the Viltrumites. We get the credits, and then we get the post-credit scene of Lucan and Clad talking about like where the heck did Alan and Tech Jacket go? We don't know where they went, and Thrag is not going to be happy with that answer. Where's Conquest? I don't know. He can deal with himself. They don't care about Conquest. He's, they hope he finds his way back to his concube, That's a Battle Beast reference for all of you out there. We see on the outside of the ship, Zoe, of course, has formed the Tech Jacket into like the little structure that is hiding them on the ship, Millennium Falcon style. And she does the great line of like, I saw it in a movie. It did work. And they have a great little back and forth banter about how like they'll hang out here until they stop somewhere and they can try to sneak off. But if they go back to their home planet, to Viltrum, then they're like truly fucked. And we get Alan's constantly asking like, is there, can you make any more headroom? And she's like, no, it wasn't made for a, 400-pound. What are you? And he's like, a Unopen, and it's 385. Thank you very much. Like, and then he says like, so does this thing have like any good video games or anything? And Zoe's like, it's a Geldarian war machine designed for unequaled combat and destruction. It's got a few.
Yeah.
And again, great. Then we get the full credits, and it's so great. Again, how can you not love Zoe? How can you not be excited for what we're gonna get likely next episode with Zoe and Alan, and as things continue to escalate? And that's where we end this incredibly packed episode. Again, oops, all bangers. Not a bad scene, not a weak scene in this entire episode. I was so excited that I got to do the recap for this one, because what a crazy episode.
That's an oops all berries reference from Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
Man. I've done that before, and I think you've called that out before.
Really? Have you? I don't have a great memory. Obviously, this is well established.
No, I just like to talk about things that are all bangers. You know what I mean? So that is our recap. And now we get to our doodles. Does anyone have any predictions about what anybody doodled? I feel like Bill likely drew something Tech Jacket related. Is
Bill,
my guess.
what did you draw last time?
I drew the Galdarian armor.
Have you drawn a Tech Jacket thing yet?
Yeah, that's technically a Tech Jacket on a Galdarian.
No, what did you draw for the Hell episode, Bill?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That is what I was asking.
That was 2 episodes ago. I drew the silhouette of them coming, of them clashing. Yeah, Volcanica and
because he's already done a Tech Jacket, I don't think he would have done it again. I don't know.
Yeah, I did that.
I didn't do Tech Jacket. I was gonna.
Did anybody draw something that wasn't Debbie related?
Me.
I drew Debbie.
I drew something non-Debbie related. I did think about for a while. I was going to draw just Nolan's chest with the coalition symbol and the bloody like part of it, but I didn't have any red. I didn't have any red.
Are you guys ready for this?
Now, I feel like that would have been a good only time I used red this season. Would have been that. I was going to do that, but I didn't.
Technically, Omni-Man Nolan is in this shot, but I do not have the technical ability to do that. However,
wow, nice.
Oh wow,
the scream, the fucking scream, dude. Yeah,
good job.
God, that scene's
look at her collarbones, Wyatt.
You did a good job with the collarbones, Bill.
Thank you.
Really good.
Thank you very much.
Nice. And the little touch of color there to really sell the paint.
TJ, did you also draw a Debbie?
I did. I tried to capture the ominousness of the episode.
Oh, did you do the door?
No.
Oh, I like it. When she's looking down at the wine glass. I like it.
I wasn't going to be the one to say it. 3 separate scenes with wine.
That was
this
her
show. This whole show shows a lot of wine, and it's not just Debbie.
And a lot of food in general. Like my dream is that we need to one day do like a giant celebration where it's a big potluck where everybody picks a different dish that they're bringing that has to be from the show.
Fun.
I'll bring the Japanese cheesecake from season 1. You know what I mean? Somebody bring Eve's mom's green beans or something like that. You know, we gotta each pick a dish and we all bring it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that awesome stuff that they had at that festival in season 1.
Oh yeah.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello. Oh.
Did either of you draw anything related to a Zoe relationship, whether that be with potential with Oliver or potential with Alan? Yeah.
I did.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
How to hold this. Okay, here we go. Ta-da.
Nice.
Yeah.
So for audio listeners, it's Zoe and Oliver looking at each other as they look out the window of the Venture, talking about how cool space was. Mine is not Zoe relationship wise. I just love Tech Jacket and how Tech Jacket looked flying through space. And there's a cool shot as she was flying towards the Viltrumite ship with all the lasers coming in.
That's so good.
Wyatt, that's so good. That is so good.
I love any kind of tech suit armor, Iron Man-esque type of vibes. And so it was very fun to draw.
Awesome.
So those are our doodles. And now we can go into our predictions. Because yes, even though we technically could have just immediately started watching episode 6 after watching this one, we're very fortunate to get some early screeners. We have not yet watched episode 6 so that we can make these predictions with all of you about what we think is coming next. So anyone want to start? You think is coming next?
Before we dig in, though, just for listeners, keep in mind that when we make predictions, we make them having fully read the comics.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So be aware if you want to go in completely blind without knowing what would likely happen.
Yeah.
Tune out now.
So with that being said, I will say that as brutal as it was this episode with Oliver and Nolan, we're going to get some resolution there. Because again, we know, having read the comic, we know Mark is going to kind of be out of commission a little bit the next episode, or so we would assume. And when that happens, there should be some relationship character building between Nolan and Oliver, which I cannot wait for.
How 100%. Long until Mark is up and walking? Halfway through the episode? End of episode?
I think probably.
I think end would be great, but it's always more than we
faster.
think.
Yeah, it's always more than we think.
The fact that we got episode 2 with 0 Earth whatsoever makes me feel like they are confident enough in all of the rest of the characters and the plot lines happening that they will use this episode as we don't need to focus on Mark and what's happening with him. We need to go find Battle Beast. That I think is probably going to happen. I think that we'll see Alan and Tech Jacket off doing fighting in the war type of stuff, because I think that while Mark is healing up and while Oliver and Nolan are building their relationship, the fact they end this with Thetis saying like it's time for us to fully go to war means that I think we're going to get some time skips and some just like
in the comic,
into the middle of like you're now in the middle of this battle watching Alan and Tech Jacket and they found Battle Beast, and like I think we're going to get some not necessarily montage but time jump scenes,
which I hope, because that'll show Mark healing, but also like that means we get 2 POVs of 2 pairs. Like we get Tech Jacket and Alan, and we get Oliver and Nolan. And just like the comic, I want to cut back and forth between these 2 fighting for their lives and these 2 goofing off and eating bugs. Like that could make for a very fun episode. Now, will it be the entire episode though? I think I want it to be, but I don't know. That stuff was so quick in the issue that like, are they really going to flesh out that much Alan and Tech Jacket fighting random stuff?
Yeah.
I would almost, I don't know if this is what I want. I think it's what I want is for us to not see Earth until halfway through the season finale.
Yeah,
don't
we're not
even
going
show
back
me
to Earth
Earth
at all. We're
Yeah,
not
don't
going
wanna see
back.
it.
We're not going back.
I agree.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
Which is crazy that we're just gonna not get any Eve for
half the
6,
season.
7
That's
and half.
the point.
8.
That's kind of the
crazy.
point. And then when we see her again,
100%,
like-
100%. I think that you're dead on with that. But yeah, it's just kind of crazy that that's where we're at now.
Or we go back. No, that's probably going to be in this second half. I'm thinking of all the things that could happen in that half an episode of the finale. And unless we go back sooner, I don't know.
I think that there are more Thrag scenes that don't necessarily feel like they are in moments of the big fights that we know could be coming up that we may also get. Like there are some scenes in some of the trailers they've released where it feels like this doesn't feel like it fits in we're about to go off to a fight. That this feels like almost more flashback stuff or more establishing who Thrag really is, like leading up to it. So I could see maybe we get more of that while we also get the Oliver Nolan and the Tech Jacket.
That's a great call. I like that.
Yeah, before this premiered, like talking about, I think that we're gonna get more Thrag than we got in the comic. Like, more Viltrumite stuff, just like you said, like we already did. I think they're teeing us up for more. I think that it would make sense in this episode because I feel like they can do it and not make us like the enemy, but we could know more about them. You know what I mean? As opposed to them just being like an opposing force.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff. And to know that like there are only now 3 episodes left of this season, I am even more unsure where we end this season than maybe I was even at the beginning. Like I still have kind of a rough estimate, but like so excited to see what they do with these last 3, knowing that like this moment just happened in episode 5. Like they still have to deliver a season finale for this, whether that is a big one in the second to last, like a Game of Thrones sometimes does, and then the final one's just a little more fallout, or if everything is in the finale. Like, I don't think we've ever had an episode that felt this monumental directly in the middle since like season 2, episode 4, maybe,
which was that
like,
half season
stuff, which was like a mid-season break almost. And so can't wait to see where it goes from here. Of course, anytime a new episode of the show drops, you can come right back here to the Invincible Podcast YouTube page, podcast feeds, wherever you're getting your podcast, to hear us break it all down, just like we did with this one. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. Go check out all the other videos, all the other things we have coming out. Follow us on all the socials. TJ mentioned it on a previous intro to another episode, but we're doing great stuff on Instagram as well. He's doing some great stuff, clipping moments out, sharing different things, so go follow us there too. And until next time, I've been Wyatt.
I'm Bill.
I'm Ryan.
Oh, and TJ's muted. Oh no.
Oh,
And that's
I would have
TJ.
said it
Oh.
too. I would have said it. Darn it. Bye. We'll try again next time, I guess.
Oh my god,
I
it's
feel
so big. Why?
That's just the way I was born, dude. I can't when I came out of the womb, they're like, where's the baby start and where does this end? Like,
That's the goof. That can be the
Wyatt's always on deck.
He is.
Always
I'm
on
always
deck.
thinking about the goof, you know?